This is the story of a couple that will teach you that love does not have a specific time. That love does not follow schedules, expectations, or timelines imposed by others. A love story that arrived later but right on time. They did not meet when they were young, and they did not meet when life was fast and loud. They met later, when life had slowed down, when they knew themselves better, and when they were no longer afraid of being alone. They met at 45. For many years, both of them were single. Not because they did not want love, but because they wanted to be true to themselves. They spent years working on their inner world, learning who they were, and healing old emotional wounds. They understood that healing takes time, and that no one outside of them could decide when the right time to be with someone was. They stopped listening to pressure, to opinions, and to timelines imposed by others. Because when the soul is ready, it feels it. It knows it. They learned to trust that inner knowing. They understood their fears, their limits, and their needs. They learned how to enjoy their own company, how to live without rushing, and how to be okay without depending on someone else. People around them did not always understand. They were told they were too selective, too independent, and too late. Some people even said, if it hasn't happened yet, it never will. But they did not believe that love has an expiration date. They believed that love comes when the heart is ready. And then one day, without searching, without forcing, and without expectations, they met. There was no drama, no anxiety, and no rush. There was calm. It felt natural, familiar, and safe. This love did not come from loneliness. It came from two people who already felt whole. They did not need to fix each other, and they did not try to save one another. They chose each other slowly, consciously, and with open hearts. They were two complete and free individuals, and their freedom is what brought them together. They walk together in life, side by side, not because they are afraid to be alone. They know that if one day one of them feels the need for something different, their paths may separate, and that would be okay, because they both know that the most important thing is to remain faithful to the path of the soul and to listen to the inner voice. Together, they laugh a lot, not because life is perfect, but because they feel relaxed together. They have deep conversations and talk about life, about what they have lived and about what they have learned. They listen to each other without judging and without trying to change the other person. They enjoy simple things like a cup of tea together, watching a nice film in the evening, or walking slowly along the sea. They enjoy the small pleasures of life, the quiet moments, and the ordinary days. There is no need to impress, and no need to prove anything. This love is calm, warm, and it feels like home. Now, years later, they sit together on a quiet beach, around 60 years old, with no need to look younger and no desire to show anything to the world. They are simply there, holding each other, present in the moment, and feeling deeply grateful. They do not make big promises about the future, because they know this story may last until the end of their lives. And they also know it may not, and that truth does not scare them. This is not a story about perfect love. It is a story about real love, about meeting someone after meeting yourself. About understanding that sometimes love arrives later. Not because it was late, but because you were becoming ready. And maybe this story is here for you too. Not to promise you anything, and not to tell you when love will come, but to remind you of something important. You are not late. Love does not follow a schedule. It follows the heart. And when it arrives, it will meet you exactly where you are. If love finds you for a season or for a lifetime, let it be real, let it be gentle. Let it be honest. Not perfect. Not dramatic. Not something you have to fight for every day. And if love comes into your life, even if it stays only for a season, let it still matter. Let it still be meaningful. Because love does not lose its value just because it does not last forever. Sometimes love comes to teach you something. Sometimes it comes to heal you. Sometimes it comes to remind you that you are capable of feeling deeply again. And sometimes, love stays. But love does not need to promise forever in order to be real. What makes love meaningful is presence. It is care. It is respect. It is choosing each other in the moments that exist right now. Many people are afraid of love because they are afraid of losing it. But love is not meant to be controlled. It is meant to be lived. When love is honest, it does not ask you to disappear. It does not ask you to become someone else. It does not ask you to abandon yourself. Healthy love allows you to grow. It allows you to remain true to who you are. It allows you to walk beside someone, not behind them and not in front of them. And if love does not find you today, that does not mean you are late. It does not mean you missed your chance. It does not mean there is something wrong with you. Love does not work on a deadline. Everyone has their own rhythm, their own timing, their own journey. Some people meet love early. Some meet it later. Some meet it more than once. And some are still learning how to meet themselves first. All of these paths are valid. What matters is not when love arrives. What matters is how it feels when it does. And when love arrives, whether it stays for a moment or for a lifetime, let it meet you as you are. Not rushed. Not desperate. Not trying to prove anything. Just present. Just open. Just real. Because the most meaningful love is not the one that promises forever, but the one that is fully present, fully honest, and fully alive. And maybe this message is here to remind you of something simple but important. You do not need to chase love. You do not need to prove that you are worthy of it. And you do not need to compare your journey with anyone else's. Love is not a race, and life is not a competition. There is no prize for arriving first. What truly matters is that when love arrives, you recognize it. That you are present enough to feel it. That you are calm enough to receive it. And honest enough to stay true to yourself inside it. Because love that comes at the right time does not rush you. It does not pressure you, it simply meets you where you are.